Salutations, my name is Jay, this is Sneha and Kinay, and together we are Aperture Productions. As a team, we have developed a storyline for a potential movie that we feel will permeate through the film industry and top of the box office. Our genre is crime action, and it follows an inexperienced detective, James at law, whose partner, the renowned detective Robert, dies at the hand of what seemed like an infamous serial killer after discovering his identity. James must deal with the absence of a friend, the strenuous case concerning the killer, and his own personal problems after going through an existential crisis. He's deeply affected and is disturbed and begins to change. He's more ruthless and brutal, going astray from what the detective he admired and wanted to be. After events unfold, the serial killer is revealed to be Robert's previous partner's son. However, Robert's actual murder was done by the father, who wanted to protect his son. James kills his son / the serial killer in cold blood, and we are left wondering if he changed completely. We have a head-on that we'd like to show. Yeah. We had previously pitched several of our film ideas to people who had fit our target audience. From this, we had gained feedback on each of them and found out that the plot we had just pitched was the most intriguing due to its relatively dark nature and really simple. Death happens all around us and can make us do unimaginable things that deviate from how we were once perceived and can show us who we are. The audience felt that the plot was interesting throughout and kicked off with an important event. It got right to the action and was consistent throughout, with plot twists and cliffhangers to tease and even shock the audience.
So in terms of mise-en-scène, it's essential that we get our lighting correct to ensure that we have the desired mood and atmosphere. So we want to put our focus on low-key lighting to create the airy, suspenseful, mysterious atmosphere. For casting, we want to make sure that we have the actors accurately represent our characters. So an example of an actor who would play our main character is Eddie Cahill, and he's known for his CSI series. So we would have strong, robust characters for our antagonists. For costume, it's important that they reflect the characteristics of our characters. So the costume would be mostly conventional, the detective would be wearing a suit, and the antagonist would be dressed in mostly black. The protagonist's costume will transform into a much darker way to symbolise his change. The location and sets that we will use to film are heavily based in central London, hence why the budget of our film is relatively low as not many locations are needed. Using prosthetic makeup, we'll be able to successfully enhance the verisimilitude. So examples of makeup we would use would be scars and wounds created by possible gunshots. And speaking of guns, our props that would be significant to our story would be weapons, a picture of the antagonist's son, detective files, and the detective's phone. So for editing, we would expect a lot of fast-paced editing in order to create the tense and suspenseful atmosphere. And we would start off with slow-paced editing and gradually build on it to set the pace and the mood of the film. The use of slow motion would be only in certain parts, for example fight scenes, and that will be successful at emphasising the action. And long takes will add to the atmosphere and mood and that we're going to be creating for the audience.
For camera work, we could expect a lot of shots. The angles that we would expect would be more high angles than low angles, which is quite conventional in the crime, thriller or action genre, as it creates suspense. For people getting killed, there will be lots of canted angles going on because it will be quite unsettling. And we'll also see the movements of crane shots as dead bodies will be lying on the ground as well. The shots that we could expect would be an over-the-shoulder shot after each victim dies one by one after sudden realization, and also the mid-shot of a hand or any sort of symbols that we see as it is dragged by the criminal off screen. Sound is also really important in the crime thriller genre, which is particular when showcasing death. We could expect non-diegetic synchronous music, which is quite slow-paced but gradually increases towards the lead-ups. The sound effects that we could expect would be the result of Foley, such as the gunshots and footsteps, and some that you had on the head-on. Other than that, the artificial sound effects we could hear would create tension to enhance their diegesis. When people are dying, we could hear sad, non-diegetic, slow-paced music. or even silence to emphasize the loss of something. We have chosen these types of sounds because one of the most popular responses in our target audience research for the theme was of tension and suspense.
We will entice the audience by presenting them with an interesting storyline with exclusive editing effects, and the casting will be done in a way in which the audience can relate with the characters. To cajole the audience, we will go with the Bath hermeneutic code. We will do this by establishing a mystery at the beginning to ensure that the audience will want to know what happens.
Why are we different? Despite following some stereotypes of a conventional crime thriller action movie, our plot is unique and fresh because it potentially follows the journey of a protagonist who gradually transforms into an anti-hero due to events and consequences. Rather than making individuals come across as great, powerful and unable to be defeated, our narrative follows a typical plot of change, which is the end result of true learning. This will be portrayed during the existential crisis, which will have an incredible impact due to the tense atmosphere. We can see our protagonist being overwhelmed by the negativity in his life, and his inability to change these consequences will promise to take a turn for the worse.
So for scalability, our budget would be around 850,000, and as mentioned before, the core location where the film is set is the United Kingdom, specifically in central London. The reason that we like to film here is due to the simple fact that it's more commonly used, therefore it's widely known, and because of this the audience will be able to easily establish where the action is taking place. To ensure maximum scalability, we'll be partitioning out our work, and our storyline is easily adaptable, flexible and versatile, which means that if needed, we could change the plot to suit your needs. And to also increase the demographic of our film, we'll be doing this through promotions, marketing. So based on our target audience, which is ages 17 to 35, we found that most of them use social media, so our core promotion technique is social media, so for example Instagram sponsored posts and Snapchat filters, etc. We'll also be doing print adverts, teaser trailers and possibly bus adverts. We aim to get hashtags trending on websites, social media networking sites such as Twitter, and we want to possibly create an interactive website or mobile app that the audience can download and use.
Overall, our movie will feature a dark, gritty and unforgiving atmosphere. It will take place during the night to emphasize the idea of loneliness, darkness and danger. Moreover, several camera techniques will help us portray and connote various things to help us progress the story and engage the audience. Costumes will typically be dark and connoting power, as detectives are the ones in the night who solve crimes and experience the darker side of humanity. However, since the movie is about change, the main character will have a change in clothing throughout. His demeanour and appearance will change and progress subtly till the end, where he would be almost like a different person. We put a lot of time and effort into this plot. We've been Aperture Productions.